If you are playing a game with someone who is a master at that game and you have no idea what the rules are and your opponent's goal is to win that game at all costs, what do you think your chances of winning that game are? In order to significantly increase your chances of winning, you will need to master the game's mechanics. Concentrate on learning game-specific skills until they become ingrained in your muscle memory. This goes for the money as well. When a game includes strategy, your chances of winning and achieving financial freedom will be higher. We'll learn 7 simple steps to financial freedom that Tony Robbins has shared in his book, Money Master the Game. You'll hear it straight from the masters of the game, self-made billionaires, Nobel laureates, and financial titans. For its drafting, Tony interviewed 50 of the most brilliant, influential players in the world of money, such as Ray Dalio, Charles Schwab, Carl Icahn, John Bogle, and many more. Step 1. Make the most important financial decision of your life. Tony says you have to make the shift from being a consumer in the economy to becoming an owner, and you do it by becoming an investor. You have to be able to not only hold on to a portion of what you earn for your family, but more importantly, multiply what you earn, making money while you sleep. He interviewed the noted economist Burton Malkiel, who is also an author of one of the classic books on finance, A Random Walk Down Wall Street, and asked him what's the biggest misstep most of us make right from the start. He said the majority of investors fail to take full advantage of the incredible power of compounding, the multiplying power of growth times growth. What you can do is make a simple change in strategy and embrace a whole new mindset. Compound interest is such a powerful tool that Albert Einstein once called it the most important invention in all of human history. Tony said, "If it's so awesome, I wondered, why do so few of us take full advantage of it?" To illustrate the exponential power of compounding, Malkiel shared with Tony the story of twin brothers William and James with investment strategies that couldn't have been more different. William opened a retirement account at the age of 20 and invested $4,000 annually for the next 20 years. At 40, he stopped funding the account but left the money to grow in a tax-free environment at the rate of 10% each year. Whereas James started investing at the age of 40 with a 10% return, tax-free, but he kept at it until he was 65, 25 years in all. In sum, William, the early starter, invested a total of $80,000, while James, the late bloomer, invested $100,000. So which brother had more money in his account at the age of retirement? The answer is William, who'd started sooner and invested the least money. William has 600% more in his account, almost $2.5 million at the age of 65, whereas James had less than $400,000 in his account. That's a gap of over $2 million. You have to take control and harness the exponential power of compounding and move from just working for money to a world where money works for you, and not that lousy time for money trade where you set things up so that you give away what you value most, that is time, in exchange for what you need most, that is income. If you stop working, you stop making money. It's time to get off the sidelines and get into the game. Because ultimately, we must all become investors if we want to be financially free and build a money machine to take your place. Let's set it up in such a way that it makes money while you sleep. When you receive your paycheck, save a fixed percentage from each paycheck and then invest it intelligently where your account balance is constantly earning interest, as well as refeeding the interest back into the balance so that it too earns interest and can begin to generate enough in interest to provide the income you need for the rest of your life. And over time, you'll start living a life where your money works for you instead of you working for your money. What percentage works for you? Is it 10% or 15%? Maybe 20%. There's no right answer here. Find your threshold and circle it. Highlight it. Click on it. Commit to it. Make it happen and automate it. Step 2. Know the rules before you get in the game. Tony says that we will need to climb the mountain of financial freedom. There are 2 different phases to investing game. The accumulation phase, in which you are socking away money for growth. The journey up the mountain will represent our accumulation phase with the goal of reaching the pinnacle or critical mass. The goal is to stay on top of the mountain as long as we can, to take in the views and breathe in the fresh air of freedom and accomplishment. There will be many hurdles, obstacles that will prevent you from reaching the peak. And after that, we will ski down the mountain, which is called the decumulation phase, during which you are withdrawing income. That means we will enter the second act of our life. When it's time to enjoy what we made, we will have the freedom to work only if we want to and enjoy ourselves, spending time with the ones we love, building our legacy, and making a difference. This second phase is rarely discussed by the asset management industry, which is focused on keeping money invested. To ensure our best chance of success, Let's shatter a few financial myths that misguide the masses and, more importantly, uncover the new rules of money, the truths that will set you financially free. The first rule of money is to never play a game if you don't know the rules. Many of us fall into the trap and invest money before we're even aware of the rules, thanks to marketing tactics used by various companies. For example, people who invest in active funds must be aware of the risks they are taking. As selecting a good fund might be similar to casino, the active funds industry is a $13 trillion industry in which the house always wins. The fund will charge exorbitant fees regardless of whether the investor makes a profit or not. In the United States, there is an S&P index in which 500 U.S. companies are listed. Will you as an investor buy all the stocks individually and track them if you don't have time? Probably not. Tony says, so instead of buying all the stocks individually or trying to pick the next high flyer, you can diversify and own a piece of all 500 top stocks simply by investing in a low-cost index fund that tracks or mimics the index. One single investment buys you a piece of the strength of American capitalism. You are buying into the fact that over the past 100 years, the top-tier companies have always shown incredible resiliency. Even through depressions, recessions, and world wars, they have continued to find ways to add value, grow, and drive increasing revenues. And if a company fails to keep making the grade, it falls off the list and is replaced with another top performer. The point here is that by investing in the index, you don't have to pay a professional to try picking which stocks in the index you should own. It's effectively been done for you, because Standard & Poor's has selected the top 500 already. Our fees, they're a small price to pay. 3 childhood friends, Jason, Matthew, and Taylor, at age 35, all have $100,000 to invest. Each selects a different mutual fund, and all 3 are lucky enough to have equal performance in the market of 7% annually. At age 65, they get together to compare account balances. On deeper inspection, they realize that the fees they have been paying are drastically different from one another. Jason was paying 1%, Matthew was paying 2%, and Taylor was paying 3%. Impact of fees on their ending account balance. Jason, $100,000 growing at 7% minus 3% in annual fees is equal to $324,340. Matthew, $100,000 growing at 7% minus 2% in annual fees is equal to $432,194. Taylor, $100,000 growing at 7% minus 1% in annual fees is equal to $574,349. Same investment amount, same returns, and Taylor has nearly twice as much money as Jason. Next time when you are investing in mutual funds, then look at their annual fees as well. Our returns, what you see is what you get. We do not receive the returns that the companies advertise. You might wonder why. Even when the return has been flat, companies would offer a 25% return. Consider investing $200, which grew to $400 the following year. That is 100%, then dropped to $200, that is 50%. The average annual return for this simple calculation is 100% minus 50% divided by 2 is equal to 25%. I am your broker and I am here to help. Brokers regularly try to get us to invest in their funds by promising higher returns. However, in a sobering 2009 study released by Morningstar, in tracking over 4,300 actively managed mutual funds, it was found that 49% of the managers own no shares in the fund they manage. That's right, the chef doesn't eat his own cooking. This just demonstrates that they do not believe in the product they promote. Tony says that an incredible 96% of actively managed mutual funds fail to beat the market over any sustained period of time. Target date funds, just set it and forget it. Despite the fact that target date funds are regarded as one of the greatest ways to earn high returns, many fail to deliver. Tony discovered that 62% thought they would be able to retire when the year or target date of the fund arrives. Unfortunately, this false perception is the cruelest of all. The date you set is your retirement year that is goal. Target date funds are not a plan to get you to your goals, but rather just an asset allocation that should become less risky as you get closer to retirement. Step 3. What's the price of your dreams? Make the game winnable. Tony talks about the importance of determining the amount of money you need to amass in order to achieve financial freedom. You will have to decide your number. However, you will need to be realistic about your number. We will choose a number that you will achieve in next 10 years, and you have decided $1 million. Now let's divide 1 million by 10 years. That means you will need to earn $100,000 every year and 8,333.33 every month. If you save this much amount every month, then you will be able to achieve this goal. Simultaneously, you will need to focus on 5 elements that can help you speed up your plan and achieve your goal. Save more. You will need to look at all areas of life where you can save more money and actions that you can take daily. Let's say if you are saving $4,000 monthly and your monthly goal is to achieve 8,333.33 every month, and you will minus $4,000 from it. Now your monthly goal is only 4,333.33. Earn more. This is the important element in which you will need to find a new source of income to generate income, as you can't rely on one income. Tony shared 3 advices. First is you will need to find ways to increase the value you can add to others. To increase your income quickly, you will need to provide more value to your customers and clients. Second is retool yourself and switch to a different industry. Think of yourself as a product. View yourself as a competitive product with features, benefits, add new skills, and differentiate yourself from others. Third is find ways you can add more value and grow more so you can give more. Save in fees and taxes. Taxes are difficult to avoid, but there are many strategies you can find to help ward them off and can help reduce your fees or taxes. Get better returns. You started saving your money, but along with this, you will need to get better returns by investing that money. You will need to create a portfolio in which you will need to invest in different financial instruments for better returns. Change your life and improve your lifestyle. If you are purchasing expensive items, then you will need to reduce this. Focus on needs instead of wants. Step 4. Make the most important investment decision of your life. The financial decisions you've already made to automatically invest a percentage of your income for compound returns gets you in the game. But once you decide to get in the game, now you've got to stay in the game for the long term. You can lose it all if you aren't careful about where you put your money. Anybody can become wealthy. Asset allocation is how you stay wealthy. Now it's time to start focusing on your asset allocation. Tony met David Swenson to understand asset allocation properly. He's the guy who grew Yale's portfolio from $1 billion to more than $23.9 billion by achieving a 13.9% average annual return across 3 decades of bear and bull markets. David said that there are only 3 tools for reducing your risk and increasing your potential for financial success: security selection, stock picking; market timing, short-term bets on the direction of the market; asset allocation, your long-term strategy for diversified investing. According to David, asset allocation is more than diversification. It means dividing up your money among different classes or types of investments, such as stocks, bonds, commodities, or real estate, and in specific proportions that you decide in advance according to your goals or needs, risk tolerance, and stage of life. Step 5. Upside without the downside. Create a lifetime income plan. It's about the importance of protecting your principal and developing a way to have upside potential without all the risk of losing your money. In an interview with billionaire Ray Dalio, Tony gathers the percentages of Dalio's asset allocation for his all-weather fund. The all-weather portfolio is intended to safeguard the investor from the 4 financial seasons: inflation, deflation, economic growth, and economic recession. According to Ray, you should invest at least 30% of your money in stocks, 15% in intermediate government bonds, 40% in long-term government bonds, 7.5% in gold, and 7.5% in commodities. According to Tony, the all-weather portfolio not only helps you generate money, but it also keeps you from making bad decisions that might be disastrous for your future. Step 6. Invest like the 0.001%. The Billionaire's Playbook. Tony began his mission to help the common man investor understand the truth about the investing system, to debunk myths and reveal the truth about the investment system. He interviewed over 50 billionaires who shared their secrets. We will share a couple of advices of those investors. Warren Buffett. Mr. Buffett believes that purchasing an exchange-traded fund, an index fund, is the best and most cost-effective method for an average investor to make money. Paul Jones. His best advice is that an investor should concentrate on developing a portfolio that focuses on defense rather than building something that's aggressive. Step 7. Just do it, enjoy it, and share it. Most people pursue wealth because they're after a greater quality of life. It's because the common goal of all is happiness, and money appears to be the most obvious path to achieving it for many individuals. If you have more money, you can give it away more, and giving, not just accumulating it for yourself, is what truly makes everyone happy.